Watch and burn.
Hey everybody! So tonight I am looking to discuss Harmony Korine's newest film, and that is the very recently, I think it was released in 2024, and that is Aggro Drift, starring Travis Scott and Jordi Molla. Visually, I can't say enough good things about this movie. As far as Korine wanting to work with infrared photography, I couldn't have agreed more with that. At first, when I heard about this a couple years ago, that he was starting Edgelord and it was going to be more this, like, it was a new way to make movies and it was more of a focus on using things like video game graphics in order to create feature films and shit like that. I thought Korine, being as infinitely as creative as he was, I thought this was a great idea, and I still do. I think the idea of the whole edgelord thing, sort of the marriage of film and video games, and sort of, I don't know, it's a really unique idea. So visually speaking, I couldn't have been happier with this movie. I thought that having everything so infrared was, at first, when I eventually got to see this, I was wondering if whether or not I was going to end up with a headache, right? Because that's just one of those things that you sort of assume is going to happen when everything's going to be really bright. I assumed things were going to strobe, and because of the infrared, I thought that maybe, again, I was going to come out with like my head sort of like, But no, that wasn't the case. I thought the infrared photography was, next to Arab music's score, the score and the photography were the two absolute best parts of this movie. Because once you get past the sort of the aesthetic aspect of it, and the audio included, like I said, the score, and as far as the ambient noises used in the background, like the audio production aspect couldn't have been better either. However, that being said, those are the good things. And I also, too, quickly, I liked how they had them wearing, like all the assassins in the movie or whatever, they had them all wearing sort of like street hockey gear, I think. And then when they tossed the use of the infrared photography at it, it made it sort of glow in this really unique and fun sort of way. And it's like the best looking movie I've seen in years. Like, well, the craziest looking movie. And it is the best looking movie that I've seen in years, just because I was just so impressed by the fact that I didn't feel sick after watching it. But then we snap back to reality, and the real issue with this movie is the acting, okay? Jordi Molla plays, I think his name is Bo. He is the world's best assassin. And Travis Scott plays Zion. He is sort of... And see, this is where the writing kind of goes off the rails, because I don't really know what the relationship is. I know that it's sort of tagged on towards the end of the film that Zion was trained by Bo, because, again, Bo is the best assassin in existence. Except Travis Scott, his acting chops, they're not the greatest. And I really like Travis Scott. And I'm starting to lean more into the, perhaps this is poor direction, leading to a poor performance on Scott's part, much like, Jesus Christ, Russell Crowe's performance in, I think it was Virtuosity from way back in the 90s. I mean, Russell Crowe is a great actor, but his performance in that movie was absolutely abysmal, and that was due to the shit direction. And so I'm arguing here that, as much as I don't want to say it, because Harmony Korine has been one of, like, my favorite filmmakers since high school. I mean, this is the guy that gave us Gummo, and this is the guy that gave us Julian Donkey Boy. It just, I don't know, the writing was god-awful. I really got the impression that it was just he wanted to do the infrared photography thing so that everything could be all flashy and bright, and Korine got so caught up in the idea of getting to use the infrared photography that he just... I know, he didn't think everything else through. It's almost like he's like a kid at Christmas. Like, he gets to open his presents, and he doesn't care that it's minus 30 outside. Well, minus 30 outside where I am. He's in Tennessee, so it's never minus 30 there. But nevertheless, when you're a kid and it's cold out, and you want to go outside and play with your new RC car, and your parents are like, you can't. You're going to wreck it. But you're so busy focusing on just having the fun with the new toy that, yeah, you sneak outside with it and you kill the thing. And that's essentially what Korine did here concerning the acting. It's like he got so overwhelmed and so excited by the idea of using infrared photography, which, again, I couldn't be more supportive of, because, my God, visually, this movie is a knockout, that he just said, oh, yeah, I need a story to make a movie, don't I? Oh, okay, so, all right, well, what if it was about an assassin? Wait, no, not just an assassin, the world's greatest assassin. Yeah, that's good. And then he's going to have a protege, and that'll be Travis Scott, because he's cool. And then they're going to have to fight somebody. How about they fight a drug lord guy, and he'll be satanic? Yeah, there's the story, said Korine. as he wrote it, like on a napkin, I'm guessing, because the story is shit. The story is just that Bo and Zion take on this satanic drug dealer, demonic drug lord guy who can't act. The acting is horrible. That cowboy guy that's like telling Bo that you're gonna have all this and this can all be yours, and he's cutting Bo off. Like he's like, no, you listen to me. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if Bo really was the world's most deadliest assassin, I don't care how powerful this dude is talking to him, you would never speak to a man like Bo that way, because you know Bo could wipe you out like that. So, yeah. And that guy was really bad. The one who was showing Bo all of his property. And he's like, and I'll give you all the money in the world. The guy can't act. Okay? Geordie Mollett, for anybody who doesn't know, he played Johnny Depp's buddy in Blow. The guy's like, George, you are my brother. George, you are my brother. That guy, Geordie Mollett, he was really good in Blow. And Geordie Mollett is a hell of an actor, but it just feels like he phoned it in too. Geordie Mollett is supposed to be married to this chick, and he's supposed to have a couple kids. And there's always, this endless voiceover. It reminds me of the original Blade Runner. Well, except the original Blade Runner was way better. But he's like, oh, family. It's all about family. And then you can clearly tell that him and his wife aren't married, because there's no way that once he's been out on a job doing whatever and then he comes home, they just kind of give like a little side hug to each other. And then he hangs out with his kids and her. And I just don't buy that they're a functioning family unit. It just, again, feels tacked on so Kareen could really make this visually stunning film where everything's super and it's fun and it's like a fucking kaleidoscope of crazy colors. And then he's like, oh yeah, Bo's got to have a family. Give him a home. This is my wife. It's all about the family. Family matters the most. And then, like I said, there's like husband and wife, when they embrace after not seeing each other for a long time, they tend to kiss. But you could tell that Geordie Mollett and the chick playing his wife didn't want to kiss. And I'm thinking to myself, like, then don't make the movie, you know? And then you've got the big satanic bad guy. Oh, dance, bitches, dance, bitches, dance, bitches, dance, bitches, dance, bitches, Fuck, that part where he's got the two samurai swords, the two katana swords, and he's like, dance, bitches. It reminded me of a really bad Otto von Schirach song. Well, I don't really like anything from Otto von Schirach, so all of his stuff is bad. But you know what I mean. It's like, dance like a hoe. Dance like a hoe. And he's like, dance, bitches, dance, bitches, And then that scene kind of leads me into another massive criticism I have, is the repetition of certain lines. Like at one point, Geordie Mollett's character is like, just get the money, just get the money, you gotta get the money, just get the money, just get the money, just get the money, get the money, you gotta get the money. And I think Kareen had him saying it in some vain attempt to sort of show that that Mollett's character is being pulled back into this world of assassinating craziness, and he's just trying to get out. He's just trying to get the money to support his family or whatever. But it feels sort of like a limp-wristed tribute being paid to Romeo is Bleeding with Gary Oldman, the movie from back in the mid-90s, or at least I think it was the mid-90s, where he's just like, gotta feed the hole, keep feeding the hole, I gotta feed the hole. Except I believed Gary Oldman in Romeo is Bleeding, and I didn't believe Geordie Mollett saying, just get the money, just get the money. I didn't believe it in this. It just feels like Kareen just had them repeat a bunch of the same lines over and over again in order to sort of pad the runtime, because he knew he had to make this movie so long in order to make it like a feature-length film. And that's the other thing I thought was a little weird. If I'm not mistaken, this movie doesn't even crack an hour 30. And that's because there is no story. And the acting is god-awful. The acting completely torpedoed this film. Arab music score could not have been more on point. The two best parts of this movie were the visual aspects and the score. Okay? Everything else felt like a giant Dollarama mess. Like, I liked the street hockey gear, but at the same time, it still felt kind of cheap. And then you've got the god-awful acting and that satanic boss that they kill at the end, and he's got some girl tied into his bed and he's going to kill her, and she's like, oh, help me, help me. And Zion's going through there, like Travis Scott's moving through her room, and he's got the gun, and he's all a professional assassin. And Scott's performance was terrible too, but again, I don't know if I really like Travis Scott, so I don't want to bash him outright. Geordie Mollett, he phoned this in. Like, he's too much of an experienced actor to have phoned this one in, so I'm calling him out completely on that. But Travis Scott, maybe he's going to be a great actor. Who knows? He wasn't a great actor in this, and I do think that it's because of poor direction. My God, there's something I never thought I would ever say in regards to a film by Harmony Korine. I mean, I didn't even like Spring Breakers, but that movie was still 10,000 times better acting-wise than this movie was. Okay, everybody in Spring Breakers could act, and nobody in this movie could act. Every single person in this movie was shit. And the satanic boss, he wasn't violent enough. He wasn't satanic enough. I don't think Korean should dive into the area of Satanism. It's not his like forte or whatever. Satan and Korean just don't mix. This movie is really fun to look at. I love so many aspects visually speaking, and I liked how you could see Satan working from behind the demonic drug lord dude and shit. I thought that was really cool. But again, that just plays to the visual genius of this film, which, again, I've said more than enough. The acting is abysmal. This movie's terrible. It's pretty much unwatchable. The narration, the voiceovers, they don't even make sense some of the times, and it all just feels tacked on just so Harmony Korine could go infrared. Now, my infrared sucks compared to his. I've done this earlier. This is like the standard effect that comes with my video editing program. So his looked way better than mine. But that is really the reason why I believe Korine wanted to make this movie. He's like a kid in a candy store. He gets so, like, he's got like tunnel vision. He's like, oh my God, infrared photography. That's enough. Make the fucking movie. I don't know. Put some actors in it. Have them say some shit. I don't care how they say it. I'm getting to make a movie with infrared photography. And it's really cool. It just, like I said, he feels like a kid at Christmas or whatever. And it's like he just gets so sidetracked by this one really fun aspect of the movie while he completely neglects to put the same amount of care and concern into the rest. I'm done. I've talked way too long. It's, Jesus Christ, it's 12 minutes, so I am getting out of here. So like always, thank you so much for hanging out with me for just about 12 minutes while I discussed Harmony Korine's newest film. I think it was released in 2024, and that is Aggro Drift. Like always, if you like this review or you like this movie, don't forget to go and do something nice for somebody. But like always, never forget that the world is a way better place because you are in it. I'm getting out of here because I'm starting to get hot. Have a good night.